What's up, you guys? It's Veronica, your thyroid fitness warrior, and I am tuning in from Dallas, Texas. You guys, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. The weather here in Dallas was amazing. It was a little chilly, and then it got real good, and now I feel like it got back to chilly. So, or it just may be that I'm cold. Who knows? But what I love to do is I love to educate, bring awareness, give you guys tips and resources to both the thyroid and the CrossFit community. And if you are watching me live, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comments. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put I miss you, because I would love to say I miss you back. And today, actually, we are actually going to talk about how your thyroid may be behind your mood swings. So if you've ever been that person that all of a sudden loses their temper, or they're constantly feeling like they're having anxiety about certain things and it feels like it's happening more often, or maybe you feel like one moment you're really happy and one next moment you're kind of blue, so now you think you have depression. But you know, sometimes there's a little bit more to that, you guys, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, is how the thyroid does sometimes have an effect on our mood swings. And many times what I would suggest, number one, let me go ahead and say that, is you need to go ahead and get that checked. So what I'm going to talk about is how to start detecting it. And if you start feeling like you can relate to the information that I'm giving you, then I'm also going to give you some tips that you can start doing to maybe start the process of, maybe we need to make some changes in my life to not have these mood swings or anxiety or depression feels that I'm starting to feel or have been feeling for a while. Because for many of us, we felt it for a while. We just thought it was normal. So, of course, as always, you guys, don't forget to save this live and share it. Sharing is caring. You guys will not realize how many people have actually reached out to me because of information that I have given you guys, based on just the live, and it kind of just sparked of, I need to put attention a little bit more to my thyroid and my health. And that is my ultimate goal, is to continue to come here and serve you guys. So if you can leave in the comments all your questions that you may have later on, and I can continue to serve you as much as I can. So we'll start with this. People with thyroid disorders often do have emotional or mental health symptoms, as well as the physical symptoms. So you guys know that I've talked about physical symptoms, which is of course the brain fog, just not having the energy, feeling that lack of energy and things like that. So that is physical symptoms. But along with the thyroid conditions, there is also some mental or emotional symptoms. So I'll start with the overactive thyroid. So if you are someone that may have an overactive thyroid, or you may think that you have one, some of the typical symptoms that you might feel is anxiety, which is feeling like you're nervous, have butterflies in your stomach, your heart's racing, or even trembling. So I can tell you that from my own personal experience, I did experience that the most. The most that I really felt was the trembling. I was always shaking. My hands were always like they couldn't stay still. They were always somehow, and you could tell it. Like you couldn't, I wouldn't even have to do this. Like by me just shaking my hands, you could tell that my trembling was there. So that is for an overactive thyroid. Now, the next one will be your underactive thyroid. This one's a little different. You may still feel the anxiety, but you're also going to feel the depression symptoms, which is low mood and maybe difficulty just enjoying things. I remember there was a time where when I was really big in the salsa scene, I danced salsa and I used to go out every single day. And I remember sitting at a specific place, just sitting there. Everybody else was having fun, but I was questioning why I was there. I was questioning, why was this no longer fun for me? Like, I wanted to come out. I wanted to dance salsa. I enjoy how to dance salsa. But for some reason in that moment, it hit me that I wasn't enjoying myself. That it was no longer fun. And I don't know why. And it almost made me tear up. It almost made me cry. I remember leaving salsa places and just having a blast. And then I somehow would get to my car and I would just bust out crying for no reason. And another thing is loss of appetite. So we tend to go into starvation mode sometimes, but then we just continue to forget to eat, and we just won't eat. But somehow the weight gain's still there. So that is also some signs of an underactive thyroid. Again, you may feel both with an underactive thyroid. You may feel the anxiety feel and the depression feel. So that's the second one. Now, with either an overactive or an underactive thyroid, some of the things that you would definitely feel is mood swings. So you get easily irritated with people. You get snappy, you're short-tempered, and you just feel like you have this difficulty of getting along with people for some reason. It's like every little thing they say, it's like it's ticking you off. And you don't even know where it came from, because you might have walked into the office with an amazing mood, you ready to start your day, and then all of a sudden people are like messing with you. Like you feel like they're messing you, but they're not really. So that when that happens, that could be either or. That could be either that you have an underactive thyroid or an overactive thyroid. So it's really, really important that you start tracking how often that happens, because that's something that you want to discuss with your endocrinologist. That is something that you do want to discuss with a specialist that's going to help you through this journey. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to talk about, you guys, is mental health. Mental health is so aligned with our thyroid patients because of this, because of these mood swings. And I would say this, that it does often happen more than you think. And it does often happen more with our underactive thyroids. So for example, myself, I am considered an underactive thyroid patient because I actually don't have a thyroid anymore. So I would most likely have the symptoms and any side effects of a person that is underactive thyroid. But I will say this, sometimes that I would say it's ours tends, if we don't stay on top of it, our side effects, our symptoms will be times 10 than a person of an underactive thyroid. Now say this, not to justify our situation versus theirs, just because they still either, number one, may still have a full thyroid, but they're able to manage it through their journey. Maybe they just got half of it taken off and then they still have some of it, right, functioning. But in our case, we don't have anything. We have a whole organ completely removed from our body. Does that make sense? So that is why we tend to feel everything times 10. So it's so important for thyroid patients that do not have a thyroid to really stay on top of that, because any changes that you make might start affecting your overall health, your mental health. And then it just kind of goes downhill from there. So it's so important that you stay on top of that, okay? So don't think it's all in your head. Don't think that you're making it up. Really sit down, and what I would say is really assess what's really happening to you and start writing it down, whether it's in the notes section of your iPhone or your Android, or actually physically writing it down somewhere where you know you can go back to it on your next visit. So sometimes what happens is you feel like you're having a very difficult time concentrating. You feel like you even have short-term memory. Like you can't even remember what this person told you yesterday. Or you feel like you lose interest on certain things. You either lose interest or you feel like you're just not as alert. One thing that I know I experienced, especially when I did not have my thyroid levels under control, I experienced it way even more. I used to joke around that I was very clumsy. I used to even say that I would never be a waiter because I am so clumsy. I would be the worst waiter in the world. And so I happened to make that comment on one of my visits with my endocrinologist. And he said he wanted to dig deeper. He said, wait, what do you mean? Give me an example. And I said, one of the things that happens to me a lot is if I'm turning a corner, I always end up hitting myself. I'll turn, like literally, like the kitchen is literally a corner, like not even a big corner, you just go, and I still hit myself in the corner. And this is before, right? And I was like, and then I'm always like, putting stuff on the counter, and somehow I still miss the counter, and I just laugh it off, and I think I'm just clumsy. And so so he was just like, interesting. He said, so what happens is another symptom, which I don't think it's talked about a lot, is that your thyroid can also mess with the balance of how you see things. So you may think you are close, but you're really farther than you thought, and that's why you continue to hit yourself around the corner. That's why you continue to drop things out of your hand when you're trying to grab things, because you think you got it, but you really don't. It's messing all the thyroid is really messing with the balance of how you see things and where they really are. So that is also part of that mental health, if that makes sense. And if this is making sense, let me know in the comments. Again, if something did not make sense, drop your questions in the comments. If you're watching me live, I really appreciate it. I see you, I see you, I see you. And go ahead, if you are watching the replay, put I miss you in the comments. I would love to say I miss you back. And guys, do not even, like, my dog is outside. He's just being a baby because we had to completely redo his food, and he is not very happy. I just ate dinner, and he saw me eating chicken, and he's not allowed to have chicken in his food right now. So he is not a happy dog right now. So he is outside for now, and I want him to come back inside and ready to eat. If not, he's not gonna eat tonight, but he's okay, you guys. He's just barking. So next thing. So after me talking about this, and you guys are like, oh my God, I know what she's talking about. I felt that. I felt that this morning. I feel it. I feel it right now. Right now when she's talking, I'm feeling it. What do I do? What do I do now? What do I do now, Veronica? Okay, so first things first, you need to find you an endocrinologist. Whether your primary doctor go ahead and refers you to one, or if there is an endocrinologist in your area that just allows you to set up a new patient appointment, you need to go ahead and set up an endocrinologist appointment and start getting some lab testing. I actually just did a reel on all my platforms talking about the most common thyroid testing that you can ask for. Many will just test you on your TSH. You need to do a little bit more than that, okay? And it's okay for you to ask for it. It's your health at the end of the day. Now, whether your insurance covers it or not, that's something that you're really gonna have to plan out. But at the end of the day, is health really worth something highly? Like, you really want to see what is worth it and what is not worth it, okay? Talk to a doctor, okay? Ask for a specialist, especially if they have experience. What I would say, you guys, be very careful also with endocrinologists that have been in the field for a very, very long time. Excuse me, guys. He is barking a lot. Hold on. Canelo, you're being rude. Okay, you guys, I apologize for that. Canelo was being rude. But going back to what I was saying is, what I would definitely do my research on endocrinologists. If not, really give them a chance, try them out. Because what tends to happen is some endocrinologists are basing off all what they know from their beginning years when they first started, you know, their thyroid or endocrinologist journey, and they have not continued to read the new studies that have recently come out on new thyroid patients, okay? And then you also want to make sure that if it's a newborn endocrinologist doesn't really have a lot of experience on their hand, they're staying relevant, they're staying on top of things, they're getting curious with you, they want to make sure they answer your questions. If they don't know the answer, they're coming back with an answer, even if it's not in that appointment, okay? So kind of just try them out, do your best judgment, because at the end of the day, it is your body, it is your health, and you want to make sure you're doing what's best for your own thyroid health, okay? So I hope this was useful. The next thing, you guys, and I would say from my personal experience, I really lacked in this area at the beginning of my thyroid journey, was confide in a family member or even a close friend who may be able to help you to go through this journey. As I went through this journey, I really kind of shut down. To be honest, I didn't say anything. I mean, my parents knew, my mom knew that something was going on with my thyroid, and she knew that I had to have it removed. She's the one that took me to the hospital and brought me back. But we never really sat down to talk about what now? What's going to happen to me now? It kind of took us some time to understand that I was getting mood swings because, first of all, my thyroid levels were still not controlled. And then second of all, I don't even actually have a thyroid. So we just didn't know that was what was going to happen. So we never really sat down and talked about it. And it kind of took some time to build ourselves to that. So I would say the best advice, learning from my experience, find someone that you can confide in when you're going through this journey. Find you a family member that you're really close to, or even a best friend, even if that's like your husband, just your therapist, whoever that may be. At least find one person that you can just confide in and say, you know, yesterday was not a good day for me. I feel like I was a pain in the butt because anything anyone said, it just bothered the heck out of me. And it's okay. It's okay. It's as long as you are now assessing that, and you'll be able to take that back to your specialist and say, I don't want to feel like this. How do we fix this? Because this needs to be managed, right? Okay? And last but not least, you guys, find yourself a support group. I know that when I first started, I did not do this, and I wish I did, because I think it would help me understand a little bit more of what I was actually going through. But now I have. I go through Facebook, to TikTok. In my city, I created this platform because of that reason, because I want to have a safe platform where people can come back to and say, hey, have you ever experienced this? Because I just experienced this. Like, I just kind of need some suggestions. When you create that group of support that has similar experiences, is very easy to find the empathy in it. It's very easy to find someone to say, I know what you're saying because I've been in your shoes. Let me tell you how I fixed it. Maybe we can find a similar solution that will work for you. Okay? That's kind of what I went with when it came to support groups and things like that. And then last but not least, you guys, do not feel embarrassed. Do not feel awkward about it. This is real. This is your reality. There is a way to recover from this. Just know that. There is a way to find some relief. You just gotta keep finding the right people to guide you and get you there. Okay? And that unfortunately is gonna take a little work. It is gonna take a little work. It's not gonna be something I can be like, hey, you know what? Here's this guide. There you go. Here's this guide, and this is how you fix everything that you're feeling. No. Because number one, everybody's body is different. Okay? Number two, everyone's journey is going to be different. Okay? And it just is going to take some adjustments. It's going to take some resiliency. And you're just going to have to start somewhere and adjust from there. Okay? So I hope this is valuable. I hope this was useful, you guys. And just know that as your thyroid fitness warrior, what I do is just bring you more awareness, resources, tips, and anything I can based all on my own experience. I have been on a thyroid journey for 10 years. I have been on a CrossFit journey for 5, and I have been able to combine the two to really bring my health to the next level. So if you have any questions, don't forget to follow, share this live, share this video, and put your questions in the comments. Also remember that if you go to the top of my profile and click on that link, I have free resources on there that I have put together myself based on the stuff that I've read, stuff that I've tried, stuff that I've learned, for you guys to have for free. Why? Because I do it to serve you guys. I don't do this to monetize it. I do this to help people, because I've heard many of you so many times is, I wish I would have known this when I left the doctor's appointment. It's not going to happen. Doctors are on the go. They're so busy trying to run a practice that sometimes they need a little outside help. And that is where I come in. And so I hope that this was useful. I will talk to you guys soon. It is so much fun to be on here. And again, I will see you guys tomorrow on my next live. Ciao.